Hi, welcome to our channel. So today we're going to discuss about predictive parser. So basically we are discussing about top-down parsing, isn't it? So in top-down parsing, there are many types of parsing techniques. So top-down parsing, bottom-up parsing. So in top-down parsing, in the previous classes we discussed about problems with top-down parsing. Okay, so what are the different problems we have in top-down parsing? Backtracking, left factoring, left recursion, ambiguity. So all these are problems present in top-down parsing. So now in the top-down parsing mainly divided into two types. One is backtracking and second one is predictive parsers. And even that predictive parsing is again divided into two types. One is recursive descent parser and LL of one parser. So predictive parser are divided into two. One is recursive descent parser and LL of one parser. So recursive descent parser and LL of one parser. So what is recursive descent parser and what is LL of one parser? So first we'll discuss about recursive descent parser. So there are some steps to be followed for recursive descent parser. So we'll see what are those steps, and depending upon those steps we can solve our problem. And we also have LL of one parser. So these two are most important topics in top-down parsing. So let's see recursive descent parser now. So what is recursive descent parser? So what is recursive descent parser? A parser that uses collection of recursive routines to parse the given input string. So a parser is used to recursive routines. A parser that uses recursive routines to scan our input and to get our final output. So this is recursive descent parser. So the RHS here. So we have some rules to be followed in a recursive descent parser. So we'll see what are the steps to be followed so that we can solve our problem. Now we will see the basic steps of constructing RD parser. So don't get confused, RD parser is nothing but recursive descent parser. So the RHS of the rule is directly converted to program code symbol by symbol. So as I said that we'll use procedure calls to solve our problem. So what's happening here? The RHS of rule is directly converted to program code. So the RHS of the rule, for example, if we have E tends to E plus T. So here E is LHS and E plus T is RHS. So the RHS of rule is directly converted to a program code symbol by symbol. So what is the symbol by symbol? Okay, so that is terminals. So here we have four basic steps to be followed. What is the first step? If the input symbol is NT, so NT is non-terminal. So you know what are non-terminals, right? Capital A to capital Z are your non-terminals. If the input symbol is non-terminal, then a call to the procedure corresponding to the non-terminal is made. For example, if our input symbol is capital E, so capital E is a non-terminal, right? So what we need to do? So we need to call a procedure corresponding to that non-terminal capital E. So we need to call a procedure capital E. If our non-terminal is capital F, we need to call procedure F. If our non-terminal is capital U, we need to call procedure U. Okay, so what's the first point here? If the input symbol is a non-terminal, then a call to the procedure corresponding to the non-terminal is made. Second, if the input symbol is terminal, then it is matched with the look ahead from input. Okay, so I will, if we take an example, I will discuss what is this look ahead and all, what is the look ahead pointer. So I will discuss that with an example. For time being, so what's the second point here? If the input symbol is terminal, then it is matched with look ahead from input. Okay, and third one, if the procedure rule has many alternatives, for example, I may have many alternatives in my procedure, right? So if that's the case, then all these are combined into single body of procedure. So all these alternatives are combined, the alternates are combined into single body of procedure, right? And what about the fourth one here? The parser should be activated by a procedure corresponding to the start symbol. So the parser should be activated by a procedure corresponding to the start. So what is the start symbol here? So we need to start our procedure with that start symbol. So what are the four basic steps we have here? First one, if the input symbol is a non-terminal, then a call to the procedure corresponding to the non-terminal is made. So what about second one then? If the input symbol is a terminal, then it is matched with the look ahead from the input. So I will discuss what look ahead pointer is all about. And third one, if the procedure rule has many alternates, then we need to construct a big body of a procedure corresponding to all those alternates, right? And fourth one, the parser should be activated by a procedure corresponding to the starting symbol. Now we will take an example so that you guys will get a clear idea about recursive descent parser. Now I will take a grammar and I will explain based on these 4 steps and how to solve that problem. So this is our given grammar here. E tends to num T. So num stands for num is our terminal and capital T is a non-terminal, and T tends to star num T or epsilon. Here star stands for terminal, num terminal, capital T is non-terminal and epsilon is a terminal. Okay, so now we need to start our problem, recursive descent parser. And what are the steps we discussed here? If we encounter with a terminal, we should match that. If we encounter with a non-terminal, we should call that procedure, right? So in the given grammar, our procedure will always start with the starting symbol. So what is my starting symbol here? My starting symbol is capital E, right? So I need to start with procedure capital E. Okay. So procedure E. And what is the first thing which I am encountered, which is encountered on RHS? Num. So what is num here? Num is a terminal or non-terminal? So num is a terminal. So what to do if we have a terminal? So I said that we should use a look ahead pointer to check whether it is a terminal or non-terminal. If it is a terminal, we should match that, right? So if look ahead equal to num. Okay, so as we know that num is a terminal, so what we need to do? Match of num. Okay, right. Next, so after this, after match of num, what I am getting? I am getting a non-terminal. So what is our non-terminal? T. So here, so T is a non-terminal, so we should call that procedure. So call procedure T. Okay. So else, so what is else part? Error. So if look ahead is not matching anything, we will get error. Okay. And if look ahead equal to dollar, declare success. Okay. So if look ahead equal to dollar, so dollar means if we encounter with a dollar, so that's our end of the procedure. So if we encounter with dollar, we should declare success, or else we will get an error. So what we did here, we called a procedure E. Why? Because that is a starting symbol. So we called procedure E, and if look ahead equal to num, we are matching that. So match of num, and after num we got a non-terminal. So we need to call that procedure. So we call procedure T. Else an error will be thrown, and finally if we get dollar means declare success. So now capital E is over. So what is my second one? Capital T. So now I need to call procedure T. Okay. So what is our next one? Procedure T. So first, what are we encountering with? So we encountered with star, right? So if look ahead equal to star, so match star. Okay. So next we encountered with num. Again, if look ahead equal to num, as we know, num is also a terminal. So match num. So after num what we got? T. So T. So call procedure T. Okay. So else we'll get error. Okay, and finally if we get dollar, declare success. Okay, so after this procedure, so what happens is I call my procedure. So in every procedure, if we encountered with terminal, what are we doing? We are calling a match. So even that is a procedure. So here, right, procedure match of T. Procedure match of T. If look ahead equal to T. Okay. So token equal to next token. So as I said that in lexical analysis, we divide each one into tokens. So what happens in this look ahead pointer? For example, if we have a plus b into 5, small a plus small b into 5. So first a is processed and the token is moved next. So once a is completed, it moves to plus. So for example, I have like this a plus b into 5. So this is my look ahead pointer. Okay, so once a is completed, the pointer moves to plus. So once plus is completed, the pointer moves to b. So in that manner, token equal to next token. So else error. So in every case we are writing that error. So we need to write procedure error. So what happens in procedure error? Print error. That's it. Okay. So in this way we construct a recursive descent parser for the given grammar. Okay. Now we'll see this is not yet completed. We'll process by using a input. So I will take an input 3 into 4 dollar. Okay. So my look ahead pointer will process at 3. So 3 is a number. So what production we have? So our input string is starting with a number. So the first one we have e tends to num t, and here we got number. So write on e tends to num t. Okay. Now what I said, my look ahead pointer moves to the right hand side. Okay. So 3 into 4 dollar. So my look ahead pointer is at star. So what production is there starting with star? Okay. So we have second production. T tends to star num t or epsilon. Leave about epsilon. So we have t tends to star num t. So t tends to star num t. Okay. So now what happens? My look ahead pointer moves to the right hand side again. So 3 star 4 dollar and 4. So 4 is a number, right? So what production do I have here? E tends to num t. Okay. And finally, my look ahead pointer moves to the right hand side and will stop at dollar. So what I said, if we encounter with a dollar, we should declare success. So my look at point is a dollar and right declare success. Okay. So this is a recursive descent parser. So we'll just make a review on it. So what we discussed. So what is a recursive descent parser? A recursive descent parser is how the RHS is solved and finally how we declare success by following some basic steps. Okay, so first if we encounter with a non-terminal, we'll call the procedure non-terminal. If we encounter with a terminal, we'll use look ahead and to match that terminal. So and your procedure will always starts with the starting symbol. So in our given example, our starting symbol is capital E. Okay. So in this way we follow all the 4 steps and we'll solve the problem, and finally we'll take an input and process this input, and finally we'll show that we reached or we declare success. So this is recursive descent parser. So as I said that predictive parsing has two methods. One is recursive descent parser and next is LL of 1 parser. So we'll discuss LL of 1 parser in the next video. So the people who are watching my channel for the first time, I request you to please subscribe to my channel and please share my videos to your friends and well-wishers, and please support me in all possible ways. Thank you. Thank you very much and have a nice day.